The road followed the river, twisting down the mountainside from Livsvan. Clouds filled the sky with magnificent silhouettes, while below the ocean stretched into the horizon like black glass. Countless shadows reflected the clouds that seemed to rise like billowing wraiths from the sea. Eager to put as much distance as possible between them and Lorlenalin before sunrise, Rune had steered Astrid from the road and into the forest. The steady pound of the horse's hooves upturned the leaf litter and invaded the silence. His hands shook. His head reeled as if the traitor had infused a drug into him. But there was so much more than that. Like the drug was always there, now awakened. His heart thundered with a surge until his chest ached, and he couldn't steady his hands from shaking. Despite the changes, he felt stronger, like he was ready to charge into battle with sword and bow, and knew he could win. Rune gazed at Kallan lying limp in his arms. What of the Sidkona? In the heat of battle, when all other lines had failed, the desire to kill her and ensure his brother's victory had been clear. But out here, like this... Her hair had fallen to the side, leaving the lines of her slender neck exposed. Bergen wouldn't hesitate to break your pretty little neck. He imagined his hands wrapped around her throat. Like this, he could snap her neck with ease. A coward's killing. The cut on her head was gone, leaving behind a series of questions without answers. He remembered his mother and sister. They had been swan maidens and shared a link to Ersland that he had seen from no other. Not even he and Bergen were born with that gift. Too much of their father in them, his mother had said. Distorted shadows splashed across the trees. Branches reached every which way like menacing limbs in the dark. The clouds shifted now and again to permit various shades of gray to spill into the wood, obscuring the night. For half the night he had considered killing her, but there was still too much he couldn't answer on his own. And then there was Borg. He couldn't shake the feeling that something was off about him, let alone whatever it was he had done to Rune. The first time they had met, Borg was adamant to have Kallan killed, but in the stables, Borg seemed more concerned with keeping her alive. Don't tell her about this. She won't listen. She won't believe you. Rune studied Kallan's face. Serene and content when you're not trying to kill me. How much do you know, princess? The clouds cleared and allowed bits of moonlight to spill into the forest. The first morning light peeked through the trees, dispensing the last of night's shadow. But if I don't kill you now, how am I to defend myself when you wake? Rune licked the bit of sky, things seen through the trees. The searches would commence soon. The closer to Gunir he was by that time, the better. Bergen would be trailing him by morning. If he knew his brother, he knew the exact road on which to meet up with him. He would wait for him there. By the gods, stop! Why can't I stop shaking? A traitor with the powers of a Saviuser, and a blast strong enough to throw a Sidkona to the air. Why release me, princess? Rune laid down into Kallan as the lowest of branches and thorns dragged along his bare back instead of swiping Kallan's face, while Astrid stromped through the brood of grouse, upsetting their roost. Guttural gobbles and harsh woody pops filled the forest as the birds scattered. Their wings and calls drummed with the rustle of trees before the forest had quieted down again. As much distance by morning? Nothing else matters, Rune mused, just so long as I survive the Sidkona.